we are really excited about this entire initiative that we have partnered with Farmshelf and this amazing school, Democracy Academy, and Principal Romain, and just her vision and how this is just going to change the game of how we solve food deserts. I remember meeting with the principal. She grabbed me at a meeting and started talking about some of the things she's doing here at the school. And I was like, all I want to do is just support any way I can. And her students, the partnership, and when you look at the possibilities, there is an industry that is growing in this country, and our young people are going to be on the forefront of that industry, and it is called urban farming. Historically, when you have new industries that grow throughout countries or cities, the communities of color are ignored, and often they are not the recipient of the cutting edge technology and transformative way of producing a particular product. Not this time. We are ahead of the game, and it is going to really change how our young people look at identifying a problem and effectively coming up with a solution. Instead of sitting back saying, woe is me, they're saying, why not me? Why can't I be the one to fix the problems that we are dealing with? It is well known throughout the entire city that we have parts of this city that are considered food deserts, where you don't have quality food, particularly vegetables. If you do an overlay of those same communities, you will identify that there are also high numbers of diabetes, high numbers of hypertension, high numbers of heart disease, high numbers of all the disease that is associated with the lack of having a quality food source. That is what we're looking at here. The inventors of Farmshelf, part of our movement throughout the borough of Brooklyn, after visiting the schools, hearing about a problem, and then going to New Lab in the Navy Yard, meeting these great inventors of Farmshelf, we're able to come together and marry the people who are going to solve the problems with the devices that are needed to solve the problems. And we're excited about this and the beginning of this important initiative. I cannot thank this principal enough. It's one thing to sit children in the classroom and teach the ABCs of 1 and 1 equals 2 or a history lesson, but it's another thing to allow them to have a real life educational experience of solving problems within their community, and that's what Farmshelf is all about, and that is what these inventions are going to do. It is said over and over again, let food be thy medicine. And if anywhere you need an emergency infusion of medicine, it is in the communities that many of these young people come from and represent. The growing urban agriculture movement around the globe is estimated at between 15 and 20% of global agricultural output. Unbelievable number. It has the substantial potential to revolutionize our entire food system. My vision as the borough president is to use every space we have, not only the classroom, but all of our rooftops. We should have greenhouses on every school rooftop to teach our young people how to grow fruits and vegetables and see the economic benefits of it. The aquaponics market alone is expected to expand over the next 5 years at an annual rate of 14.3%, generating a value of more than $900 million by 2021. Achieving this goal of including our young people in this great industry is something that is paramount to us. If you look at the 2016 report by the Food Bank New York City, it showed Kings County has a food insecurity rate of 20%. We're the largest borough, 2.6 million people, 20% of a food insecurity. We're the only borough with a rising trend since 2009. And to make it even worse, Brownsville is one of the worst performing neighborhoods in those stats, from access to fresh food and rates of diabetes to obesity to life expectation. Lacking basic healthy food access contributes to high levels of preventable diseases such as diabetes and heart disease. And it hits hard with the African American and Latino communities across central and eastern Brooklyn that includes also Brownsville. They're twice as likely to suffer from those debilitating and deadly diseases, twice as likely. And we can't just be reactionary with giving prescription. We must be proactive by giving the original food, which is our medicine. Our schools can be at the forefront of this revolution to make sustainable food production so that our young people learn skills in agriculture, biology, chemistry, and the sciences, while helping our communities at the grassroots level to improve their health. And so the beauty of this, these young people, such as myself, come from communities where you have high level of medical issues because of the food that is consumed in these communities. So the products we have here is going to go at the core of the problem. This is an amazing opportunity to bridge education with real life experiences to see how you can impact the lives of people every day. Last year, I joined Councilmember Lori Combo at PS 56, Lewis Latimer and Urban Assembly Unison School in Clinton Hill to announce more than $7 million to grow in Brooklyn's future. Today, I'm proud to be here at Democracy Academy in partnership with Farmshelf, an innovative indoor farm company, to announce a groundbreaking agreement between my administration and this great school, Brooklyn Democracy Academy's Urban Farm, as a next step in growing Brooklyn's future and part of our Healthy Living initiative in Brooklyn Borough Hall. I am allocating $20,000 to start and capital budget to purchase and install 4 indoor hydroponic farm units to be used to grow leafy greens and herbs in a compact and sustainable environment within the school's urban farm. This project will include integrating these units into a comprehensive aquaponic and hydroponic curriculum for the students at the school. They're already doing great things. These units is going to be incorporated in what they're doing currently to move to the next evolution, because this process is still growing. Not only is lettuce and kale and grains growing in this city, but great ideas are growing because we're planting the right seeds to make sure they continue to grow in our educational system. The students will be able to learn how to grow and distribute produce, write code, create applications, build and maintain the vegetation units. Can you hear what I'm saying? This is an amazing opportunity. You know, let me tell you something, students. I wasn't this happy since I got my first kiss in the 3rd grade. This is just good stuff. They are going to grow and distribute produce. They're going to write code. They're going to create applications. They're going to build and maintain the vegetation units. They're going to build and maintain this. And in the process, what happens, as any educator would tell you, what happens, they're going to start putting their flair to it. So Farmshelf, you better watch out. They're going to start doing their own coding. This is how things happen. The vegetation grown, this is the part I love. The vegetation grown will be distributed to senior centers, food banks, and other community organizations on a regular basis for local residents in need. The school will also provide our office with quarterly reports on the status of this initiative, including updates on 1, the use and status of the indoor farm units, So they're actually going to critique the units and give input to Farmshelf to say, hey, how do we do this better? Here's what we're seeing from our fresh set of eyes. The types and amount of food grown, they're going to keep logs and journals and information and report on the types of food, how well it's growing, and give feedback in a real way, and the recipients of the food. So they're going out and identifying the people who need the food, people who have diabetes, people who have heart disease, people who are not receiving the food. They're going to monitor and make sure they're getting the food. And also the number of students participating in other metrics. This is a great educational experience. This is the first of its kind holistic approach to urban agriculture, education, cultivation, and distribution in a New York City Department of Education school. They are the first. Groundbreaking. Modern day Christopher Columbus is not standing on the shores wondering how we do this differently. They're getting in the boat and they're sailing to new shores, and in the process, they're going to save lives. This is an incredible project with so much potential to meet the needs of food deserts and economically disadvantaged areas of the borough. We pull this off, Principal?
We did.
I'm going to allocate another $200,000 so we can scale up. The goal is to every school in this borough is going to have these farm shelves. And they're going to start identifying the areas where they can go after these food deserts. Everyone had a question mark of how do we deal with food deserts in our community. These young people are going to take that question mark and straighten it to an exclamation point and say, we're going to do it and we're going to make it happen. And so I cannot say enough. I'm extremely excited. If you can't tell, this is the heart and soul of everything I wanted to do in Borough Hall of addressing the food deserts and making sure that we come up with real solutions. And this principal, she has done it. She is a rock star, and we cannot say enough. And the partnership with Farmshelf is just amazing. So I want to just bring Principal Romain up, and it's not, you shouldn't be surprised to know that it rhymes with romaine lettuce. But she had the vision. She believed. She believed, and that's all these young people. I know one of the young brothers is alumni, and I think one or two of them. That's when you hear these young people. That's all they want. They just want you to believe. If you stand in front of the classroom and you're going to educate me, then don't go through the motion. Just believe. If you believe in them, they will believe in themselves, and the product will produce. This principal believes. She believes. And we cannot thank her enough. And I'm going to be there because if you believe, I believe in you.
I believe in you too. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Brooklyn Democracy Academy. This is a really great opportunity. I appreciate Council Eric Adams donating these 4 units and donating 4 more. Thank you to Farmshelf for coming in and working with me and, you know, piling through the conversation of how we would make a farmer's market happen in Brownsville, how we would make this opportunity happen for my students, make this opportunity happen for the community. Brooklyn Democracy Academy is not only a school to provide an education to students, but it is a staple of this community. I intend that this school turns into an area where we provide support and services to the community, that my students give back, that my staff give back, that I give back to this community because you have hosted us well and treated us well. I am not from Brownsville, but I feel that I have been welcomed in Brownsville due to my students and everyone around here, including Eric Adams and him being open to listening to my ideas and open to really pushing my ideas through the doors, so I definitely appreciate it. Thanking my superintendent in the back here as well. Thank you for my alumni, and thank you for my kids and all the other partners. Brooklyn Democracy Academy will be here to treat all of you like family. That is what we are. We are a family, and we intend to continue to grow our family as we continue to grow food for this community. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. I tell you. I'm sorry, what's your name?
John Drake.
John?
John,
John, I used to have hair that long. You know, what I tell you, amazing educator and one of many in our school system. Next, from Farmshelf, Andrew has been amazing, his team. First time I saw them, I walked in and saw the product, I said, we're going to get this. And so we want to thank Farmshelf, speaking on behalf of Farmshelf, Andrew Shearer.
We're so excited to be working with innovators and people like Eric Adams and the Brooklyn Democracy Academy, empowering a new generation of farmers. Growing food where you live, work, eat, and study should be easy, and should be something that the community is able to do. And we are so excited to see farms all over New York, all over the world, empowering that new generation of farmers to feed their communities and to feed themselves. Not only creating, making nutritious food, something that is everywhere and a right almost, but something that they are proud that they brought to their community, that they are behind, and that they are spreading. With this initiative, we're excited to have this just be the beginning of seeing farms throughout New York, and students getting to be involved in that process, learning everything that goes into growing your own food so that they can not only be involved now, but help build the future of this. We're excited to have innovators alongside us, challenging us, helping us grow this concept. As you know, it takes a village to feed a growing city and to make a place that we are excited more and more every day to live in. When it's snowing outside and you look inside and there's produce growing on every street corner. That's what we envision and are excited about. Already, just in these last in the start of this initiative, seeing just all the excitement and involvement from the students and being so impressed by the curriculum that's come together, by the initiatives that are going on here at Brooklyn Democracy Academy, truly first class and unique for anywhere in the world. And to see that Farmshelf was designed, built, and is now growing in Brooklyn, not just by itself, but as a part of the new lab and Navy Yard community, as a part of the education community, and just all these different innovators that are so unique to New York, all coming together to build the cities of the future that we are so lucky to be a part of. Just want to say thank you once again for the amazing opportunity it is to work with you and your staff, and can't wait to have interns, some days employees, and maybe one day my boss coming out of Brooklyn Democracy Academy. And just the change that's being driven here in New York is truly unique in the way that companies, educators, government, and just average citizens are able to partner together is what's going to make New York not only the shining hope for the world, but a model for the rest of the world of how to change the way that we feed cities by bringing people together around food, not just eating it, but growing it and sharing that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We need a drum roll. And one of our great students here, who's part of this great experience, Judith Atunji.
Hi, everyone.
You know you gotta talk louder than that.
My name is Judith Atonji, and I started school here in September. That was last year, and when I got my schedule, I saw hydroponics on it. So I got home. My dad asked me if I know what it was. He didn't even know what it was, so I told him I don't know. And then I told him that I know for sure I'm going to fail the class. First of all, I don't even know what hydroponics is. So I came to school and I asked one of my teachers. Then he told me to go down the hallway. That's where hydroponics is. So I asked him what it was, and he told me that was growing plants without soil. So to me, I'm used to growing plants with soil, no with rock or anything. So I told him how we're going to do it. He told me to be patient. We are going to see how it's going to be done. So I waited for some of the students to come in. Then we started with the topic. Then he told me hydroponics was growing plants without soil, but we have to use rock and we have to keep accurate data of everything that is going on. So I was like, I'm used to growing plant with soil. When I put the seed in the soil, that's it, and it grows. So I'm not used to keeping accurate of anything. Then he asked me if I've ever been in any science class. So I said I've been in some of it, but not with this type of it. So he told me to be patient. And then as time went on, I learned how to grow plants without soil. And that was like something new to me. So I learned how to grow plants. So I asked him if the plants we are growing is for only for the school or is for other people. He told me we are going to share it. I don't like sharing food. but no, I had to learn how to share some of my food. So he brought some dressing for the salad we planted in the classroom, and we learned how to share with the community, not only with our classmates, but we shared it with other people. Like parents came for meeting, they gave some of it to it. So I learned how to share my food with the community, and I learned how to grow plants without soil through the teachers that I have in Brooklyn. Democracy. Yeah.
All right. Now, we have a NYCHA resident that's here? We weren't? Okay. All right, I think Superintendent, would you like to say a few words?
I want to thank you very, very much and congratulate the students and the principal. Amazing when learning and teaching is rooted in real-world experiences that lead to the betterment of our communities. That's what schooling is all about. So congratulations and thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to expanding this.
Yes.
Thank you.
So again, this is really a great moment, and I want to thank our team, Josh, who's my capital director. This is an amazing moment. It is a revolutionary moment on food supply. And as was indicated, not only the experience of growing food without soil, but also sharing the food that we grow. This is what we've all wanted to produce for so long. My office funded New Lab. New Lab created an environment so that great organizations like Farmshelf can come together. Then it grew into coming into our schools. So the seed that was planted in the Navy Yard with New Lab was nurtured, grew, and now it has reached a full circle of now our young people are learning how to use this equipment, state of the art. They're going to be able to leave the school, intern in places like Farmshelf, or start their own company, learn how these machines operate, their cameras inside, so they would see it grow. You could almost imagine them walking around with their little notepads and coats and watching this whole product. This is a great moment in education, and it started because we had a great educator. Thank you. We're open to any questions. Okay, I mean, we.
Sorry, I'm accustomed not using the mic. So the two in the back here, the plants are 5 weeks old? 5 weeks? Yes, so they're fully grown at 5 weeks. These seedlings are 3 weeks old. So they should be fully grown within the next 2 weeks. We continuously grow, so the plan is with more equipment in, we'll continuously keep growing, so we'll have food on hand all the time. Yeah.
Now, so I need one of you guys to, because you just opened the door for something. Who can explain the process of the growing? Because it starts off in a little, can you?
The alumni can, because they've been here the longest.
Okay, can you feel up to it? Huh?
Have experience with it, but not this
Okay.
one. This is more advanced.
Okay, that's good. So Farmshelf, so can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll understand because you see the small parts here. So we want to just explain the process. Yeah.
Yeah, so the way that it's done is it grows in a media. We use peat moss that we source from Maine. Nutrients are delivered to the roots, giving the plant exactly what it needs when it needs it, along with lights that mimic the sun, and actually change based on what the plant needs. That is monitored by cameras, sensors in the Farmshelf cloud, and then enables the students to change schedules, monitor different things that are going on with everything from the water to the humidity to the airflow, so that not only is it already growing food, 2 to 3 times faster using 90% less water, but that's just going to continue to get better as educators, chefs, restaurateurs, the Farmshelf team continue to add inputs or tweaks to the system, shipping those new plant recipes just over the internet. The cameras are there so that you can know exactly when to harvest, automating a lot of the difficult parts, but also bringing the students and chefs and restaurateurs into the process to be involved in growing their food.
Ooh, just giving me the chills. I'm so excited. Now let me tell you what's interesting. These children can grow and they can bring it down to the cafeteria. They can grow their food. We scale up to the level. No more getting that wilted lettuce with all those pesticides. They can grow their food and bring it right down to the cafeteria. And you are more likely, what we found in some of our projects, you are more likely to eat the lettuce if you grew the lettuce. Because now you're part of the experience. And they're going to sit there and walk through the cafeteria and say, listen, y'all need to love me because I made that lettuce for you. So now when you look, let's open this here. This is Swiss chard, one of my favorites. Bok choy. You know that? You know that? And I'm going to cheat. This is real bok choy. And this is on the bottom is what? Amethyst base?
Amethyst.
Okay. And this is basil here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's out of season everywhere else, but here at EDA,
Right.
it's always in season.
Right. Small units, I like to pick it, you know that? Small units, look how compact it is. We have 1, 2, 3, we have 4 units here. Now these are the seeds here. This is the
Yes, the seedling, that's the
So-
seedling rack.
This is the seedlings. There, I guess we move it here and put it in.
And so, looking at how do you involve the residents of a city, the existing infrastructure, and the passions that we all have around food. It's bringing that food into those spaces where we already are and taking advantage of that infrastructure and those passions to really not just look at, what are a lot of the challenges we have with food. It's, logistics, getting food where it needs to be consumed. It's resource utilization. It's, having trained farmers that have jobs that they love. And so by creating a user experience and a system that can grow food anywhere, we can provide jobs, we can provide food that people are proud of, that they love, that they enjoy, that's not only sustainable but cost effective in their cities. We've scaled both here, we've rolled out units both here in New York and Washington, D.C., and that's just the beginning for a young company like us getting to partner with offices like yours, as well as the Brooklyn Democracy Academy are teaching us so much and changing what we hope is the future of cities and the way we feed not only our existing population but a growing population.
Right. So imagine this: every house could have this. You could. Matter of fact, when am I gonna get mine in my office?
Working on it.
Every house could have this. The concept of going to the grocery store to get your bok choy this is so old school. The concept of getting your Swiss chard from the store, 90%, you save 90% less water. So the whole concept of, when we got to go to the store, those days are going to be over for vegetables, and these children are going to be able to go in. This is a whole new industry of going in and maintaining these devices. This is good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Right now, from November till May, 90% of North America's lettuce is grown in California or Arizona. So it's traveling thousands of miles. That's why it doesn't taste good. That leads to not as nutritious food, which is why they have to grow the food the way they do. So, instead of traveling miles, traveling feet, and starting off with herbs, leafy greens, microgreens, but then strawberries, peppers, tomatoes, changing what's possible and where that's possible. Yeah, we're excited.
And we're completely organic.
Love it, love it. Now, normally organic is too expensive for Brownsville. We're growing organic here. This is the same here? What do
That's
we
a
have here?
shiso. So it's a red shiso, and then this is a Portuguese soup kale. Normally when you get kale, the only types of kale that you can grow in the field at scale have a really kind of rough taste to them.
Right, right.
But this not only has great vitamin content, but also is just so enjoyable. We had a kid that came in right after trick-or-treating last year and tried some Portuguese soup kale, and he goes, wow, as he's harvesting it and eating it right out of the unit, this is better than trick-or-treating. So produce that tastes good, looks good, and is good for you.
Now, this one here
It's
is,
a red shiso.
okay, red shiso. Now, how do these open on this side also?
Yes, on the other side. And so these are still babies.
Okay,
In 2
okay.
weeks, they'll be fully grown.
Mhm.
And so we're able to grow
Does this
2 to 3
these-
times
these-
faster.
these
Yes,
come out?
you can pull one out to show the root.
Yeah. See, did you get that? See that root mass?
And so, if you look at a traditional plant in the field, about 60% of the weight of the plant is edible and 40% ends up in compost. It's red shiso or Britain shiso. Yes.
I'm from the South,
Uh-huh.
and I do know